anticipation for the first bounce here to start the preliminary final between the Eagles and the Double Blues. Let's get the okay from the captains. No sure things are settled. The Eagles have won the toss. They're kicking right of screen, favoured by a slight breeze this afternoon. David Neiman starting the ruck up against Mark Conway for the Double Blues. First bounce is good. Conway first touchdown. Good work across to Brucey Lennon. They go forward for the first time in the afternoon, the Double Blues. And he kicked forward to Squire. Squire pumps it up long. One-on-one in the front position. A great mark by Sheedy. It's Curtis in front.
Took that position and used his body just beautifully. Look here, he got under the ball, comes back and came back hard. And that was exactly what was required.
So Michael Curtis, looks like he started in the pocket there, just pushed the ball through. It's true and it's accurate. It's the first major for the Double Blues. What a start.
Finals are emotional times. You need to get off to a good start. Clearly Conway getting the ball down. Look how clever Lennon was. Very quick hands, took the long option. Further afield, Weatherall had very, very good vision. But look at the kick from Squire. That is a penetrating 55-metre kick. 2 steps and bangs in long. When the ball comes in quickly like that, these third forwards are very, very dangerous.
Great start for the Double Blues. And some disappointment, Michael, I would think, in the Eagles camp.
A lot of disappointment in the Eagles camp, a lot of controversy too. John McCarthy's hurt his back in the warm-up. He's had to withdraw from the team. There was negotiation involving Sturt to see if they could replace him with Filippo, and Sturt, not unusually, said no. So the Eagles are going into this game 1 player short on their interchange bench.
Boy, there's some controversy there, isn't there?
Well, team sheets, fellas, have to be into each club 30 minutes before the game. And at that point, it's all over Red Rover. I think Sturt are well within their rights.
They are. Sometimes with those things you need to put yourself in the position of the opposition mode, but
this is a final, Stephen.
Quite right. Colville overruns the ball back into the side for the Eagles today. Can't quite get a crack at that. Looks like he's being picked up by Sheedy at the moment. Floriani, Cicolella, if he's quick, there's a chance. He gets it inside, gets it back again, but it's behind him, so he doesn't have an opportunity to get it forward. In the end, Justin does very well. He gets it towards some space. Pesh paddles it to himself. The player hot. Gives it back towards Colville. Sturt defence holds up pretty well. Powell runs away with the ball. Time for a bounce through centre wing. Beautiful atmosphere at Football Park this afternoon. Inside 50 in the spoil forward. Atkinson off hands. He's tackled without the ball, by the way. The umpire calls play on. Comes wide. And the Eagles out of trouble temporarily.
Grandstand side. Loose plays have been created here by the Eagles. Working hard as Pesh. It's great delivery forward by Adam Pearce, finds Nicholas Pesh.
Now that's Powell's man. Now what Powell did, he got the handball from Twitt at the back pocket, took off and ran down. Now that's the problem when you're going to run from defence like the Double Blues do. You leave your man. Now if it rebounds quickly, which the Eagles are very good at doing equally, it comes back, you get caught out, and Pesh was 25 metres clear of Powell, 25 metres directly in front.
Nick Pesh, game 110. I think he's happy with the result. We'll wait for the umpire. He puts up the 2 fingers. So the first goal of the Eagles, a quick reply, locks the scores away. We've played 3.5 minutes in the opening term.
Pesh has exploited the Double Blues run successfully. I think in round 19 when they met, the Eagles played pretty well that day. Pesh kicked 5, and he used that dropping back routine successfully, as he did on that occasion. Powell took off now. There's 2 decisions you've got to make. Can I catch him and can I go with him? No, Powell was gone, so Pesh dropped back.
Neiman goes head-to-head with Conway. Have an abundance of riches in the tall area. That's why Kenny McGregor found himself back in the reserve today, a game which the Eagles won. And so they'll have at least one representative in the seniors in the finals. The Eagles forward again to Pesh. He's got the run. It's pretty well done too to Tape, who's bounced off half-back. Pumps it right up to where it's a dangerous zone for Sturt. Flying for it was Matthew Kluzak. Couldn't take it. Off hands goes Threadgold around the body. Couple of options for him. One is Jared Twitt. The boundary line's going to win it out though. And at the 4-minute mark of the first term, we've got a drawn-up game.
You see the Sturt bench there. McEwen, Coutura and Howman are the 3 sitting early for the Double Blues.
Throw in again on the back there as Brucey Lennon been in great form. Across the Weatherall, the chance to clear from the fence now through Maloney. Needs to bounce the football or give it. He finally gives it across to Jared Twitt. He's going to play her out wide if he wishes to use him. He doesn't. The delivery by Twitt.
Now, I hate to say it, his nemesis is his disposal.
Well, Stevens just couldn't quite keep that football in.
Now, what a remarkable story that is. Mark Stevens, who broke his leg back in round 2, came back for round 21 and is lining up in a preliminary final for the Eagles.
Throw in. Again, Neiman up against Conway. Conway uses the body. Brings the ball down again. Brucey Lennon gives it off to the running Weatherall. A build up here for the double Blues. Goes forward. White plays from behind. In front is Hall. Is taken high. Takes the free kick and plays the advantage. Comes out wide. The kick was good. Holland, look at the speedster. Take off in front of Curtis. Has 2 bounces. Delivery again wasn't good. Running just a little bit too quick. Should have balanced. But knocked down by Gettings. Comes across to Woosnam. In there also with Matty Powell. Gives it back again. They go out wide. The mark again is taken. Double Blues go forward. Jared Twitt should take the grab or the free kick. The umpire calls play on. Weatherall, Twitt. Again they go forward. This time White out in front. Can he get there? He does, but couldn't hold the mark. Eagles defence by Rogers. Sits over the top of the football. Hall handballs it. Neiman's in there as well. The double Blues just under pressure. Throws the ball on the boot. I think it was Sheedy. It was. But it's only registered another behind, for the first behind for the double Blues of the afternoon.
As you'd anticipate, fellas, it is ferocious. Players are just throwing themselves at the ball. There's no tomorrow for one of these sides, and a grand final berth the prize, and both defences are playing like it. Midfields aren't quite matching up just at the moment, but the defences of both sides are running pretty hard early.
Kick into the far side of the ground. Off hands, the Eagles take it. I thought before the game it'd be interesting to see just how they match up. I reckon Sturt would be allowed to run free and make it a shootout. But Paul Hamilton, the coach of the Eagles, had something to gain by picking up a couple of prime movers for the opposition. And it looks at the moment as though Pearce has got Squire. And we'll just try and pick up a couple of those other coverages as Manfield takes it in the middle of the ground. He's got one spare on the far side. Mark Stevens has covered some ground from centre half back so far. Gets it just inside the forward 50.
I think that's the rationale of the Eagles' defensive zone. They're going to run hard. It's interesting to see that Atkinson hasn't been left in a back pocket, because I think Hollands, with his pace for the Eagles, would have exploited him. Phil Carman has cleverly used Curtis in that role and is freeing up Atkinson at half forward.
Just changed that. Pearce has understandably got Weatherall, and Andrew Rogers has Squire at the moment, who's at half forward. The kick is a pretty good one, just slides across the face of goal. They on through for behind. So once again, at the 7.5 minute mark of the first term, the scores are tied away.
You look at Mark Stevens and you look at McCarthy's absence today, injured in the warm-up. I think he's suddenly about to take on a much more important role for this club than even he realised before the start of the game.
3 goals, kick, good mark, and a quick give. Maloney goes back again. The double Blues come just inside 50. Burton's there for his first touch of the afternoon. He knocks it back in play. Buzz up again, takes on Jamie Tate with the body. Tate rode the bump and picked the ball up. Stevens, long handball down to Colville. Colville straightens the body up. Bit of work done off the football there. Comes down, a good kick. Finds Sikalella.
Double Blues fellas today, I think their tactic obviously is to slow down the Eagles, scrape them, stop them, whatever they go forward. Here's another chance. See, to hold them up just that split second. Don't let them play on.
Pearce punches the ball in. Christopher Kluzak at the back. Working back hard was Conway. Just got the fist to the football and found the safety of the boundary line.
What a terrific crowd. Just having a look at Kluzak. If they're going to play Kluzak full forward, and Threadgold's got the job on him, if they're going to bomb the ball in long, Threadgold's going to have the upper hand. Kluzak has to get out on the lead and use his pace.
Just watching the Eagles interchange warming up as the ball gets belted towards the line. Threadgold every good chance to take it through and does just that. That whole concept with Biglands and Higgins, the only 2 left on interchange, I wonder what that does to the psyche of the Eagles, whether it, you know, what they've done to us is not given us an opportunity, backs against the wall type stuff. We've only got 2 instead of the 3. Or does it just take away their flexibility? Time will tell. Far side of the ground. Geddes fends off and then threw the ball away. Good tackle in the end, wasn't it? Because it grabbed hold of the arm and left Geddes with no opportunity but to throw it. Watch it again, threw it. Inside the forward 50 again, off hands. Weatherall, who in my opinion, despite that little error, is probably the most productive and important player of the Blues this afternoon. To half-back, Thurston's has started pretty well. Just gets inside, arches the back and goes to the far side where he's got a couple of players. Spoiled forward, Atkinson will arrive late. Jumps across the top, pretty well done by Tate. To Sikalella, puts in some little short ones and needs to do that too because he was hot. Goes towards the far side and finds Colville. Missed last week and very effective early. Inside 50 once again for the Eagles, falling short though. Conway, you really needed to take it because Pesh is very, very good in these circumstances. He hits it and misses. 1-3, plays 1-1.
Interesting, Phil Carman has Conway and Thurston sitting in that sweet spot that the Eagles use so well, about 30 metres out from goal. Thurston has parked himself there and run off, and Conway is very disciplined getting back into the hole quickly.
2-on-1 here, 3-on-1 with Matthew Cluzak. Comes up, did that well from 48 metres. He shouldn't miss this. He pulls the kick, he has. So another behind to the Eagles.
Beveridge, Mark, was 20 metres out, directly in front, and was ignored, and he is livid.
Well, he had a bit of space on his side there, did Matthew Cluzak, running, and could have kicked it maybe from 40, maybe 35.
11 minutes gone, and the Eagles have gone inside their forward 59 times. Just about one a minute. Sturt 5 times as Powell kicks from half-back. Thurston's once again is the target, but they're outnumbered 3-1. The Eagles have got a pretty good work ethic at the moment. Conway, Twitt. The handball forward was not really all that effective, was it? Manfield did very well. Neiman, Colville, do you think he's not getting some possessions early? Quick kick forward. The Eagles are a chance now. You'd think they'd want to finish off this time. They will through Chris Cluzak, who made some space, screaming his lungs out and found the ball.
Paul Hamilton on the phone as Cluzak. Now what he did, he came charging out, started running back, and Threadgold was heading back to defend the goal scorer as he does, and then Cluzak turned around and just charged 20 metres forward and put 40 or 50 metres between him and Threadgold. It was very clever.
66 goals this year for number 11. He's not going to add to it though. Off the side of the boot. Well, at 1-5 in a final could be costly, just could be.
Well, he overstepped, didn't he? Sometimes and he's had such a good economy of style. Nothing much goes wrong with that kicking action under pressure on a windy day or a wet day. That time he just overstretched the last step. Just a little anxious.
Well, numbers here for the double Blues. Maloney should go with this. He's over the top. In front was Beveridge, couldn't take it. Good second effort by the Eagles. Namely Beveridge.
And Pearce. What about
Pearce as well was in heart of the football.
What about Pearce? You talk about tough nuts and a guy you'd want to go, your go-to player in a final.
Good match for Weatherall.
I thought it was a terrific match. Be very interesting to see who wins that one at the end of the day.
Conway and Neiman just grab each other. Good work by Woosnam. The defence is there. Thurston, he needs support. Goes back towards Conway. Good work by Sikalella. Kicks the ball forward. But Woosnam cleans up. Back to Matty Powell. Powell on the left leg. The kick's not good. Rogers just over his head. Squire ran on hard. Now delivers the football forward towards Burton. A great pick up at ground level by Burton. Oh, what was that? It was well in.
The goal umpire said as he dropped the ball and kicked it, he went out. Inconclusive, that shot.
No way, he was sitting right above it here. He was well in. Oh well, he's not complaining, Julian Burton. But the ball's thrown back in. Burton couldn't quite get to it. Neiman does. A little tap on again by Squire. He started well. Now that ball was out, but the umpires let it go. That's one for the double Blues.
Will you commentate?
Leave the line.
Umpire.
Leave the lines.
Well, he's 45 out. The ball's gone 45 metres high. The knockdown again. The double Blues. 23 running through is Jones. Has he brought up his first major? He hasn't. It's hit the post on the way through.
Corey Jones has had an unbelievable final series. Just finds the ball. Have a look how good he was in space there. Burton provided the appropriate shepherd, which just allowed him that half a metre to get free, turn on to the left and turn it around the corner. This fellow's goal sense is terrific. Once he kicked 28 goals for the year off a half-forward flank, pretty fair return.
Breathe a sigh of relief. The Eagles, how often do you see that? They go forward, go forward, go forward. Now the opposition are inside and a chance to score despite being outnumbered in terms of the forward 50 thrusts. And Whiteman hits it left. It goes through for nothing. In fact, it goes out of bounds on the full. Stephen Hall brings it back into play, does it very quickly and finds Pearce. As we mentioned, a pretty good match-up for Weatherall. They're having a good ding-dong battle at the moment. Stevens well on top at centre-half-back. I've liked his game as he's fended off his run, and so too has Pearce. Pearce gets it on centre wing. Ran every bit of his required quota and then goes forward. Threadgold does well on the spoil. Powell's been pretty good early, and so too Thurston's. Wonderfully done, Pesh. Wonderfully done. The options are few and far between, though. And it goes straight to Andrew Geddes, who has an option with Woosnam.
Tell you what, Stephen, the in-hand closeness of both sides has been unbelievably good, and the tackling has been extraordinary early.
Long kick. Rogers should take this. They have enough carry on it towards Squire. Now Rogers, well up the field again from centre-half back, delivers the ball across to Colville.
Great trust, isn't there, in Andrew Rogers to pick up Squire. Leg speed being an issue.
Kick in, Manfield was up. Powell again, this time gets the handball back to Threadgold. He goes out wide with a kick and finds Woosnam. Now they can create a loose player here. He goes for the kick, spots a player in Squire by himself. Good work. Over the top, I think it was Tate that came in late and spoiled the football. Gannon Pearce is in there. Burton, he too well up the field for the double Blues. And the man in white will come in, he'll blow his whistle, and we'll ball up. Bounce down again. It's a great duel between Neiman and also Conway. Woosnam, he too been in fantastic form in season 2000. Well, that's holding the ball against Dean Woosnam.
Well, if you ever watch Floriani, Mark, he's rarely beaten. I tell you what, the one thing he does, he keeps his feet so very, very well. Woosnam trying to change direction, turn him inside and out. He took the hips and took the tackle. This fellow is a very clever footballer.
Ball in again. Pesh looks dangerous. Colville does as well. Couldn't quite get boot the ball quickly enough. He comes out. Nicholas Pesh just seems to be finding the football at will at the moment. Spots, props, turns the body round. He has players there. The mark's taken. Great kick by Nicholas Pesh. Finds David Neiman, a centre-half forward.
Now, Conway was there, fellas. He'd done what the coach had asked. He dropped into the hole. But as Pesh came out, Conway made the error of just coming back and following the ball. And therefore, when the kick came back, there was a big hole right behind where Conway was, rather than where the coach wants him. And the Eagles have exploited it yet again.
Neiman has played a lot of his football at full forward. Puts boot the ball. Well, the flags are waving behind the goal. Umpire, that's the second major to the Eagles. They're 2-5-17. They lead by 11 points.
The Eagles are going to kick a big score today. They're going to have Neiman firing going forward. They're going to have Manfield running around, creating that hole at half forward, which he's so good at creating, and allowing Chris Kluzak or the other big ruckman, Biglan's, Neiman to run into it. That's what Neiman did successfully that time.
Plays 1-2, 9 points the difference. Just a beautiful day here at Football Park, preliminary final day. As Conway goes up, belts it forward. Sikalella read at the best though, just playing on the back play. Goes towards half forward. It's a magnificent kick to Beveridge. The Eagles runners are starting to create a few problems, but dropping back and doing, I thought, pretty well. Didn't complete the mark though, Thurston's. Pesh has been busy forward. That time is wrapped up. We'll have a bounce down 45 metres from goal.
What about the tackling, fellas? I mean, we are 18 minutes in. I guarantee we've seen 25 to 30 rip-snorter tackles applied by both sides. It's blowtorch football.
Bounce down. Outside the 50 now. Thurston's has been pretty effective. He attacks the ball. In fact, it was Whiteman. Woosnam in over the ball. Colville's in over the ball. 6 possessions for him so far. Forward it goes. Sikalella. Sold the dummies, the old term there. Did okay. Didn't quite get it to a teammate in Manfield. That's a tough one to take, though. Thurston's. Whiteman. Knew he had a player spare in Sheedy. They're not going anywhere. There's no space, I wouldn't have thought. Just managed to keep it in. Colville. Now they're away. Beveridge. Neiman. They need a kick in here somewhere, but they need a better one than that. And go straight to Squire, centre-half back.
Good footy smarts. He just drops straight into the slot. And sure enough, the Eagles deliver the ball there.
Oh, the kick was terrible, David.
No, but Squire did
excuses there. He lifted his eyes. You saw what his options were. And I think he had a better one in Pesh short.
Look, I think he did, but I think the Eagles are so drilled to go to that spot, and Sturt are doing the disciplined things, running into the hole, filling it up, and not giving the Eagle forwards much room. And 2-5 is a reflection of them being rushed in their work. They're being forced wide. They're not used to kicking for their goals from that area.
Handball out again. Rogers is there. It's knocked back towards Matty Powell. Matty Powell onto the boot. Up towards Julian Burton again. A good flick over the top. Atkinson's there. Burton for the second effort throws the football out. Lennon's tackled well. Again by Shirley. Twitt, he's got the pace. Gives it back to Squire. Squire, little kick up forward. Has found Brody Atkinson.
Distance mark, I guess, will be the problem.
Sheedy's out wide. He just needed to get away from the tackle quickly. He looks to give off. He's got Burton short as well. White also gives an option.
The use of ball, Mark, hand and foot, by both sides has been terrific.
Atkinson, he's found a player wide. Couldn't take it. Is that Curtis?
Whiteman, isn't it?
I think it's Whiteman or Curtis. I saw the fall of the jumper. Hasn't got the football out. Tess just looked at the umpire and said, well, it's holding the ball.
There's a lot
Free kick.
to like about this kid. He knew he was going to get crunched. Sometimes you've just got to take the crunch and hold the ball. In fact, you've almost got to feel it. He didn't quite feel it. He was expecting it before it arrived.
Sikalella to half forward. Woosnam off hands. Taking a chance was Ugrinnik. He's got a runner. There's Beveridge. And Beveridge is very good. He takes no chances now. Goes right towards the head of the square. From the back is Matthew Kluzak. Chris attacks the ball with some fervour as well. Off hands, Sturt have defended very stoutly so far. Woosnam, the man on the ground with the most number of goals under his belt, playing at half-back today, goes towards Lennon from just backward of centre wing. His kick goes wide, not particularly handsome because it's not in the zone there anywhere. Colville works back. Possession number 7 around the body for him. Beautifully done by Twitt. Just got a fist to it. Shirley has one spare on the far side. It's Rogers playing a little way away at the moment from Squire. Into the middle of the ground. Tate. It's a couple of drop marks in the last couple of minutes we've seen. Squire. He's the one playing on Rogers at the moment. To half forward he goes, and this is a better one. No, it's not by Whiteman. Oh, he's had a dreadful patch at the moment. They might make amends though. Sturt through Twitt on the left leg. He shoots at it from 40 and he kicks it. So 2-5 plays 2-2.
And he likes it, Twitt too. Never a bigger occasion than that one. They're really in trouble. And Twitt came into goal. You see him. Does he go into the right boot? No. He held his confidence coach. Look at him. Follows the ball, calls for it. Great confidence inside 50. Could have gone onto the right, but had enough confidence on the left to push it through. I'm told he spent all week this week kicking for goal in training, and it's paid a huge dividend for this young fellow, and he likes that. It's a great result for a kid who's working very hard on what he does with the footy.
17 plays 14. The Eagles lead by 3 points over the Double Blues. We're into time on. It's a high ball this time. Conway again gets his hands to the football. Long hands forward. Umpire Chambers gets in the way. Over the top with Sheedy. Good work. The Double Blues from the fence. Weatherall, can he get there? In front of Pearce. Great tackle by Jimmy Weatherall. The umpire has paid the advantage. He paid the free kick against the tackle. Let it go, fellas. It's tough. Stevens. Thrust to Beveridge. Give it back to Stevens. Stevens this time needs to get boot the ball quickly. He does. It's up. Woosnam goes back with the fly. The football takes a saving mark.
This fellow's form has been unbelievable throughout the final series, Woosnam. 3 marks already, 7 possessions. He's finding plenty of the ball from defence and using it in an attacking manner.
23-minute mark. Biglands comes on for Neiman. You'd think that's a set plan. And once again, Double Blue fans not very happy because Rocky Shirley's got it. And they're probably a little upset because the numbers don't stack up that well. 7-0 in terms of free kicks at the moment. Attacking the ball and doing it well was Geddes. So too Maloney. They work hard and close, don't they, both teams?
Look at the tackling.
Sensational.
It's fierce and it's on, and we'll have a bounce down, you'd think.
Well, umpire's calling play on here. He's just letting the ball go, David.
Yep. Happy to see that, I've got to say. And the players generally get it out. What a big match it is for these two fellows in the coach's box.
Put the heart rate monitor on neither of them at the moment, and it would be a soaring pulse rate. Lennon, quick hands in close, but the Eagles once again have the numbers. Colville, Sikalella, they're doing some damage early, those boys. Add Pearce to that, and they've really had some run through the middle of the ground, and for all that, the scores are only 3 points apart. Geddes, defence has done well. Squires worked back, goes back. A familiar type of kick for him on the right side, and Bruce Lennon's got it half back for the Double Blues, 2-5 to 2-2.
Lennon delivers towards Burton. The kick is great. Well, he is. He's causing a few problems up there, Julian Burton. Running hard towards the football, but so is Stevens from centre half back.
Mark, I think Stevens has got him at the moment because he's run off a few more times and had more of the footy, but Julian Burton back into the side this week. Anytime he goes to it, he looks dangerous, doesn't he?
Throw in. Biggles has come on to replace Neiman. He's up against Stephen White. 2 grabs at it was White. Really got his first possession. Comes out wide. 23 running hard is Jones. Up towards Burton. A great take off the pack there by Twitt. The kick was smothered by Hall as it went forward. Jamie Tate cleans up. Half back. The kick's good. Great courage there by Beveridge. Really took the grab over top of Critic. Was taken high on the tackle. Umpire calls play on. Colville quickly onto his boot towards Manfield, and Manfield takes the mark in front of Thurston.
Well, this really is a game of the highest order quality, and they'll be thwarted, the Eagles. That's the margin. It will stay that at quarter time. 3 points. And David, I suspect if that stays up, there's going to be some tired lads out of the park.
I think we've already commented, Stephen, that this is the toughest opening of a final I think I've ever seen. The tackling has been of blowtorch standard. It has been ferocious. The in-close work by all players with handball has been very, very clever. You're probably, it's not unfair to Central to say, you're watching the 2 best sides of the last 10 weeks, fighting it out to the death, and it's been played in the spirit. The umpires are letting it go. The players are attacking the ball. They're being ferocious with their tackle. Their hands have been very clever. Disposals have been good, and they're trying to exploit the weaknesses. This is a genuine game of chess. It is an unbelievable game. I think the second quarter might continue in this fashion.
Well, it is a quality game of football. Hope you can stay with us for the last 3 quarters. It's 2-5 to 2-2 at quarter time on your ABC.
Well, a 3-point margin there by the Eagles after the first quarter there. The siren is sound. We may go down quickly to Michael Parsons just to get what the coaches said to both of their teams.
Yes, Paul Hamilton from the Eagles, pretty happy. Just worked on his midfield rotation. A big pat on the back to Pearce. And also interesting to see McCarthy out there. Hurt himself in the warm-up. He's been downstairs all quarter so far, but he's back on the ground. The doctor says he should be okay if required. Sturt, on the other hand, will Phil Carman again quite happy, but said we made a few mistakes. We're looking pretty good, but we just need to clean up the skills a little bit. Looking for some quick entries, and the Crummers, you've got to get your centre half back.
Not surprised that Paul Hamilton's pleased with Pearce. This is the bloke he's picking up, Timmy Weatherald, and he's one of the most prolific engineers of football from the middle of the ground, and Pearce has got him covered at the moment, I reckon. So Paul Hamilton would be pleased. Colville forward. 9 possessions for him in the first quarter, so back in business straight away, despite the doubts that were cast over his fitness in the latter part of the week. Right up towards centre half forward he goes. Maloney's caught out of position. Just put a little push on. Powell's been impressive today. Not getting through that traffic though, and he gets a free kick.
Interesting. Phil Carman's put Whiteman on the Colville to try and shadow him, and Shirley's doing a great job on Jones. And that's the first free kick, Mark, for the Double Blues, to great roar of approval from their fans.
Yes, Burton in front. Good spoil from behind by Stevens. Down to Atkinson. Atkinson on the left boot. Up towards White. 1. He took the second grab. Holland, Dutchie's down there hard. Oh, taken high. The free kick should be paid. It is.
No doubt about that one.
Boys, 7-0 at quarter time, and quickly there's 2 free kicks on the board, but it didn't feel like there was any disparity, did there?
I thought there was one very contentious decision in the whole first term. Sturt fans, though, this is a final. They've got a barrack for their club. They didn't get a free kick.
Well, what I'm saying to you is that, yes, I agree, it seems an enormous disparity, but I didn't feel as though there was anything untoward going on. But Sturt with a shot from a free kick. Michael
Curtis kicked 1 in the first quarter, lines up for his second. He's happy with the result. Oh, the Double Blues, they're in front. 3-2-20, they lead by 3 points.
And David, the point is sometimes it's where you get them, not how many.
Oh, look, I think you've also got to engineer it. If you have a look at how hard this fellow's worked for this ball. Bang. Came in hard and caught one high, let the umpire know. Still got the handball out. So he wasn't playing to the whistle, which is the thing I liked about it. Thought there was a free, bang, no. Got the handball out still. Then the umpire blew the whistle, he goes back and kicks the goal. You can't ask any more of a rover mark than that just to have a go.
Yeah, he's doing well. He's up there. He's been busy in that first quarter of football. He really is extending a good example.
Biglins has started in ruck in this second term. Forward go the Blues offhand. That's where Jones is very, very dangerous, and Shirley's wearing him like a glove at the moment. He's the beneficiary of it. Does well. Went to go backwards and then went forwards. It wasn't a bad play at all. Hugh Grinnick, that'll test out the hammies, young fella. Down he goes, gets it forward towards half forward. Coming out and meeting the ball with some real purpose was Matthew Kluzak. To Biglins, we know he's an athletic type. Let's have a look at the kick. Inside the forward 50 is a good one. Pesh took it off hands and then couldn't quite convert. It goes through for behind. 20, plays 18.
Concept was right though, wasn't it? Ugrinik couldn't get down, belted it forward. No U-turns from the Eagle players. They're very disciplined, well coached in that regard. Players coming down, the only big option coming down to feed off was the ruckman, and the kick was long. It was everything you'd really want, except perhaps the kick should have gone 15 metres out from goal.
2-point margin now to the double Blues. They go forward again. Twit's been good early. Sets it up for Stephen White. He pushes and prods. Tries to get rid of Hall. He couldn't. Over the top was Rogers. Gives the handball through to Hall. He's got a second. Effort was good. Hall again knocks it down towards Stevens. Good work by the Eagles defence. They're working as a team. Rogers back to Tape. Now Tape's got Shirley out wide. It's a good kick.
Mark Shirley's done an unbelievable job so far on Jones. Great credit to him already.
Didn't they all defend well though, under some real heat?
Cigalella signals his intentions. And then pushes the ball high. Favoured the double Blues defence. They spoiled. But Weatherall couldn't take the football. Again, good work across the Biglins from Matthew Kluzak. The ball goes up inside 50. First there would be Manfield. Right leg as he brought it back. He has. Has he the length? I don't think he has. It's knocked through by Threadgold, the captain for the double Blues.
I can see what the Eagles are doing with Biglins on the ground, fellas. He's running Conway around. Conway had the luxury on Neiman of just dropping back into the hole, and Biglins is going to exploit that. If the big fella's going to drop back in that hole, Biglins is going to run around and really make him pay for it.
Well, Rhett spent the best part of an AFL season working out how to run off an opposition ruckman as Caldwell gets it inside 50 and shoots from 40-ish and misses. So 2-8 plays 3-2, 2-7 plays 3-2.
You just miss 2-8 is right. You just miss a couple of weeks as Caldwell's done, and you feel for it. Should he handball out? Should he just take that extra time and straighten up? Sometimes you just rush your work, as he did just on that occasion.
You can feel his good presence there of the Eagles forward line, putting a lot of pressure on the Blues defence. A handball again by Woosnam. Really did put the player and get his under a fair bit of pressure.
No, I reckon that was the right option though, Mark. I reckon he handballed it to the line, and I think he just knew if he was going to be in trouble, he could paddle it over and just reset it. It wasn't a bad option.
Conway, strong work. Gets it down. Floriani handballs over the top to Biglins. He gives it across to Colville. Colville needs support. Whiten was held without the football. Went unnoticed by the umpires. A good clearing kick from defence by Matty Powell. Now there's a back there. Cicalella's held by Jones. Did well. Forced the error. And turned the football over. Gives it across to Conway. Conway spots the player up forward. Tight. He's up and nearly marked it between his legs. Push. But he's given the free kick away. Brody Atkinson just outside 50. Takes the free kick. Turns and kicks up forward towards White. Didn't really give him a chance at it. Stevens from the back line does clear.
Weatherall and Rogers was a collision, and I reckon the RAA insurance has been called. A real bumper fender problem there.
Here is Biglins working off his opponent. He's got the toe, gets away, he's well protected by the way. Goes inside the 50 once more. Crowell just giving some space for some time. Floriani, short pass, gets Pesh, and Pesh has been very productive so far today.
Disciplined. Where was Pesh? Deep in the pocket. Ball comes out wide. He heads straight to that spot 30 to 40 metres out. Drops into the hole, and Floriani turns back, and there's somebody there. They know there's going to be somebody there.
3-2 to 2-8 means the scores are tied away at the moment. Pesh, short pass. Can't quite get Chris Kluzak. Beautifully defended by Chris Threadgold, as always. Offhand, Sturton out towards the heart of Football Park. Burton leads in the race for the ball. Goes off hands. Pierce. He's been very effective so far as well. It comes towards Lennon. 10 possessions in the first quarter. This will need to be a bit quicker than that, Bruce, as it goes forward. Spoiled by Hall, who's played very well early. And Holland be looking for the line there at the minute because it's 2-on-1. Did very, very well in the end to Andrew Rogers, but it's gone out of play.
Well, Jamie Tate, look, he is exhausted at centre half-back.
Well, 2-8, plays 3-2. The scores are locked away. We've played 7, nearly 8 minutes into the second quarter of the preliminary final. As the Eagles, again, they'll clear from defence. Up towards Crow. The mark's nearly taken. We have seen some spilt marks here this afternoon. Maloney did well. Double Blues this time through Squire. Squire comes back in board. Back there, now Biglands is working hard. That's another mark. Gives the ball away quickly to the running Stevens.
Bigland's move, Stephen, is certainly working so far for the Eagles.
It's a good one, isn't it? And that's a very, very good mark to Gavin Colville, right in the middle of Football Park.
Whiteman's got the job on Colville. Colville had 10 possessions in the first quarter, and even though he didn't really hurt with disposals, he was finding plenty of the ball.
This is his 13th disposal. Towards half forward he goes, off hands, Manfield. Pumps it right up to where there's some danger for Stirk. The kick's not that effective, is it? And it goes straight to Geddes. Deep in the back pocket. He's got one spare on the far side. It's Maloney. The other one is Woosnam. Woosnam has a look up and Sheedy is covered. So he decides that Maloney ultimately is the best option. Now at half-back, left side. Has a look at Curtis. That's a magnificent kick. Quickly to Burton. Burton's short pass, or perhaps it was a mid-range pass to White. Stephen Hall's game's been excellent so far. Off hands, dragged back. Rogers, Hall. Balked on it. And then finally gets it towards a couple of teammates, and it's a great mark taken by Sheedy at half forward.
This fellow's really enjoyed the pressure and excitement of finals football and has improved out of sight. I thought his last 2 games have been terrific. Spent some time on the bench last week, but hasn't he fired up?
As Burton takes it underneath the old scoreboard. Nearly 10 minutes gone in this first term, his second term.
And his work rate has lifted this second quarter, double to what it was in the first quarter. And he's causing Stevens some problems. He's had 5 possessions in 5 minutes and is really starting to hurt.
Yes, Mark Stevens will need to adopt the principle of 1, 2, 3. 1's his good luck, 2's my bad luck, 3, pick him up. So Burton now from 52 fires at goal at the southern end. It's a beautiful kick. That's even more reason to pick him up more tightly. Gets his first for the day and the Blues get a break.
Pretty accurate. Missed with suspension last week. They didn't seem to miss him, to be honest, but his work rate today has been terrific. Not seen on the stat sheet really in the first quarter, but second quarter, first 10 minutes, he has dominated centre half forward. Rewarded with a goal. Classic kicking style. Stays over the ball, kicks it long and hard and accurately. 34 goals, 23 for the year as we go down to Michael Parsons.
Yes, and Coach Phil Carman recognised the damage that Biglands is doing, and McEwen has come on in place of Conway to run with him.
Biglands again gets his hand with the football down towards Pearce. So running again through Sikalella. He needs movement up forward. He does. Lays it out. The back there is Wilson. He'll come back in board. Will need support. Now he has it. The handball over the top to Maloney. Didn't hit the target. Put him under a fair bit of pressure. Pearce across to Sikalella. Down there is Floriani. Pearce at it again. So is Floriani. He's tackled by Maloney.
And I reckon, Mark, that handball from McEwen is the first one that hasn't really hit the target where it was meant to go with no pressure. There's been plenty under pressure they've missed, but that was the first one with no pressure.
Down to Pearce again. He's picking up a lot of possessions in this first half of footy. No real pressure here. This should result in the goal to the Eagles. It does. So Pearce picks up the third goal for the Eagles and gets his first.
You know, he measured that beautifully, the best and fairest from last year. He had Kluzak in the sweet spot about 40 metres out, top of screen. As he comes in here, you'll see off to the right, top corner, there goes Kluzak. He could have just chipped it across, backed himself in, measured it pretty well, backed himself in. That's the sign of a quality player. 2 or 3 options and takes the right one and finishes it off.
AFL football has finished for 2000 and the SANFL having its day, or a couple of days, in the sun literally at Football Park. Preliminary final 2000, 4-2 to 3-8. Scores are tied away. 12 minutes gone.
Biglands, big punch forward again.
Well done by Twitt. Middle of the ground. That's a dreadful kick though. Shirley with a chance. Also Atkinson with a chance. Holland giving some ground, finds Stevens, and now Pearce, who's been very, very good so far. Haven't seen that much of Weatherall. The Pearce kick from half-back has a look at Biglands, who's rushed forward. Can't quite take the mark. Well done, though, by his opponent, McEwen, who picked him up, and that's just the order of the day. He's got a free kick, though, Big Red.
A bit high, I thought.
No, he was really disappointed with last week's result and his kick at the end of the day. To Rogers. Left foot. Off the side of the boot, but gets a free kick and get a second shot at it, I think.
An FAD.
I think the Eagles players would like this to go back to Rogers.
It's not much advantage there, is it?
But Rogers was 30 metres out directly in front, and the free kick has gone wide.
And he's saying it's got to come back because the advantage rule was called, and then he realised it's not an advantage.
Well, it went out of bounds as well, I think.
No, there's good umpiring, though, because what he said is it is not an advantage.
Agreed.
And the players are saying, hang on, is it an advantage rule or an FAD? If it's a free kick downfield, fair enough, but if it's an advantage, we want it back here. Good kick, skipper's call.
10th possession for Rogers. Pretty important one, too, for him from 40 metres out. Cool as a cucumber, straight through the middle. And the break this time goes with the Eagles at the 13.5-minute mark of the second quarter.
He doesn't get many goals. The skipper, he'll enjoy that one. Hasn't been terribly well in the last month. Lactic problem. Bang, yes, he did get hit afterwards, and that's what the umpire blew the whistle for. Here it comes, and just a fraction late, Woosnam, overzealous, gets him, and the skipper makes him pay. Gee, he's only kicked 3 goals this year, 28 in his career. In 240 games, he's kicked 28 goals, so he doesn't see the forward lines too often, the skipper.
A couple of quick goals by the Eagles puts them back in front. 32 plays, 26. Bounce down again there. The difference has been Biglands.
Oh.
What a jump by Biglands. Brings the ball down towards Pesh. Pesh tries to get the fist on the football.
Oh.
Then gives a backhander. But look at Biglands there, David. Oh.
Yeah, the thing I'm worried about is Pesh and Whiteman, just this last little bit. Just didn't, it looked a little unsavoury.
Or anything Biglands can do, Brucey Lennon thinks he can do better, so he thumps the ball forward. Yeah, courage shown again by Floriani. Woosnam on Colville, grabs him and buries him.
Actually, I reckon that's a better, if he's in fact on him, I reckon that's a better matchup for Colville, truthfully.
Rogers comes off, I think, and trips over as he does that. Coming on quickly, number 6 is Ben Higgins for his first run of the afternoon.
Boundary throw-in sees Squire first at the ball, but once again, across the line. 6 points the difference. The Eagles with that slender advantage. 6 more scoring shots, but just one clean and clear kick the difference.
Now the coach is just telling the captain what he wants out there. Just drags him off, says, fellas, we're 15
Well, what would
minutes
he
in.
be saying? Don't go forward?
No, I think he'd be saying, this is what I want from you. Have a bit of a rest. It's hot out there. You are 36 years of age. I just want to give you a 10-minute rest, freshen your legs, and then we'll bring you back on.
I don't know how hot it is, but it's something fairly clear in the instruction as Pesh gets it. Goes to within 40, making a play on it. And
first time the ruckman hasn't been in that hole, fellas. Now, where's McEwen? He's at half forward. Conway stopped that in the first quarter a bit. No big ruckman back in that hole, and the Eagles have exploited it straight away.
Matthew Manfield. Not too many goals in his time either. Looking at his 18th goal of the Eagles from right on 50. Punches it, gives it everything he's got, and kicks it very nicely indeed. So a 12-point break for the Eagles at the 16-minute mark of the second quarter.
Been a pretty good recruit for the Eagles. Came up through their junior program, went off to Melbourne, had a fair crack at the AFL, just couldn't quite make the grade, and at this level he's a superior athlete. Terrifically quick off the mark, and Thurston's a very good matchup and a good measurement by which anyone can have a look at Manfield, because Thurston's is pretty well regarded. And Manfield's starting to running him around.
A 12-point margin now to the Eagles. Biglands has been sensational. Thumps the ball down to Pesh again. Pesh quickly onto his right leg. A good mark by Beveridge. Just outside of 50. So Andrew Beveridge playing half forward. Picked up by Matthew Powell. The high ball. Where's the marking? It's there. Oh, nearly pulled down either Kluzak. Good handball back in ball there, looked like Crow. And the ball's rushed through for a behind. So 5-9-39, a 13-point margin over the Double Blues.
Rhett Biglands has pretty much changed the shape of the game in the first 17 minutes of this quarter. And McEwen's come off. They've made another change, the double blues, just trying to get something going in ruck. And at the moment, here is Biglands, and he's taken another one, not quite in the middle of the ground. Off hands it goes. Squire, that's a second kick on the right leg today. Tape and Burton go into battle, and we'll have another bounce down right on the 50-metre line. Beautiful day.
Stephen, sorry, Atkinson and Tape. I just think about the matchup, and now what's that, McEwen and Conway?
Yep, Howman on.
So they're going to drop Howman, I guess, back to fill that spot. Phil Carman's committed to it today, isn't he?
Well, it just, I think, indicates how much he's rating as an opposition coach the work of Biglands at the moment, jumping in the middle and working forward very hard, getting possessions. I've made a mess of a couple of them, though. Manfield couldn't quite take the opportunity. And Andrew Crowell goes across the line. A bit slippery underfoot, so another boundary throw in.
Disappointed in himself, but geez, has proven himself capable of playing AFL football. This time last year, there were a few talent scouts having a look at him and saying, well, what do you reckon? Well, he's certainly been able to answer those people and say that he can play at the highest level.
Maloney nearly taken down there before he got rid of the kick. Up there again towards Pearce. Couldn't quite get there either. Comes down to Andrew Beveridge. He's got Kluzak on a lead. Puts the ball out in front of Christopher Kluzak. He dives forward and takes the chest mark. Fred Gold is disgusted with himself. Kicks the ground here at Football Park.
Well, there was nothing Fred Gold could do about that, truly. Just sheer...
Well, his opposition players getting a touch, David.
Well,
he's not happy with himself.
When the ball comes like that, as Beveridge used it, Threadgold went one way, Beveridge came back inside, and Kluzak athletically, I mean, there's probably half a dozen players in this competition who could take that mark.
We're going to Michael Parsons in a minute. There's a couple of changes being made by both coaches. We'll watch this kick go through first. It does. It's a better kick by Christopher Kluzak, and that's his first major for the afternoon.
70 goals for the year. His economy's pretty good too. 70 goals, 27 as we go down to Michael Parsons.
Yes, Phil Carman swinging the changes now, just trying to match up on Rat Biglands, who's really starting to dominate. Ventura's come on then for Whiteman. Looks like Thurston's will go into the ruck, and Howman will play the key defensive role.
60 possessions this quarter for the Eagles, 34 to the double blue. So the Eagles' work rate really has lifted. It's starting to show on the board.
Eagles coach Paul Hamilton really in the driving seat at the moment. Sturt need the next one, and when he's in the driving seat, I say that because he's now put Neiman forward just to try and stretch the opposition with a free kick in the middle of the ground as Weatherall was taking off towards goal.
Grunick caught one and got the free kick.
So it's all going the Eagles' way at the moment. Woodville West Torrens having a great time of it here in the preliminary final. 20 minutes gone, second term. To half forward they go. They need to stop this, the double blues, and they need the next one desperately. Woosnam knew he had a spare one forward. It was Jared Twitt, and the Twitt kick is high. Not particularly good because it goes towards Mark Stevens. This guy's played pretty well, hasn't he? Beveridge from the centre square. They've got the height now with Neiman. Can they take the mark? They can't. Threadgold did very well from hands and knees. They get it from half-back. The tackling's been good. Very good. Colville. Kluzak. Chris Kluzak. Round the body. They've got the numbers back there, Sturt. And they're under some real pressure. Maloney. So often this happens and it goes to the opposition. Happy bounce for them and a happy one for Squire. Looking for White. Stephen White been absolutely ineffective so far because Stephen Hall's played brilliantly. From half-back, he gives it off. And the Eagles once more are away.
Finding some space again is Andrew Beveridge. They need to get a bit tighter on him. He can go down the line. The kick is not good towards Neiman. In front is Woosnam. Just pats it forward. Finds Jones. Corey Jones, left leg down the line. Heads up towards Sheedy, but a good mark taken by Dutchy Holland. Turns quickly, comes back inboard towards Floriani. Floriani over the top to Pearce. Pearce gives it across to the running Stevens. He can go across to Ciccarella from 49 metres. Ciccarella with the torpedo. Unleashes, but hasn't the length or the accuracy.
Had Pearce short, but like all good Rovers, once they're on side 50 mark, they fancy themselves.
Hey.
Curtis. They need it, Sturt. They need it badly with this next one. At the moment, they're being blanketed in the middle of the ground. They just can't get enough possession of the footy. Good one to White. White takes his first mark for the day. Wheels around on the left leg, just about put this one down, but it's smothered. And Biglands working very, very hard inside the defensive 50. Gets it far side. Ugrinnick. They've got one spare now. Colville. The kick was pretty ordinary, though. Didn't give him a chance as Curtis goes back and tackled beautifully.
What a tackle.
Beautifully tackled. We'll have a bounce down.
And Colville's not happy. Now he picks it up. gets the opportunity to get the handball away. The tackle was too high, so I think the umpire took a dead heat on that one. Didn't dispose of it, but it was too high. Then he allowed them to play on. Nobody got it out bounce.
We'll be keeping his stats on the free kicks. They're 10-3 at the moment, favouring the Eagles. We see Manfield go forward. He pops it up for the marking power of Neiman. One, couldn't quite get the second grab at it. Coming up hard as Twit. Goes wide with the handball across to Pachura. Pachura, left leg, tried to set up Brucey Lennon, been very quiet in this quarter. Ugrinic puts the pressure on. Over the top towards Thurston. No voice there by Double Blues. Cicarella comes through. He spotted the player loose by himself. The kick wasn't good towards Christopher Kluzak. Just chips it across towards David Neiman. A little bit too easy for the Eagles.
It's an overused term in footy probably, but this thing called momentum is going absolutely with the Eagles at the moment. But you've got to make your own luck and turn it around. There were 2 or 3 Double Blues players that didn't chase genuinely then. And you'll be made to pay for that because the Eagles, once they're allowed to use the ball very well, will do so.
Look at Neiman, he was 20 metres free.
So David Neiman should put this through. He's already kicked one. And that's his second.
One in the first, one in the second, and it's ominous. The signs are there that the Eagles are starting to exert their influence. Clearly the best side in the competition. Took out the minor premiership and their form has been terrific. And they've used this portion of the ground, that area 40 metres out directly in front of goal all year, and they are running the Double Blues into submission at this stage. It's their pace that's causing the problem.
Well, we said before the game that if the Eagles could cover up Squire and Weatherall and Atkinson, Jones, and to a lesser degree Atkinson, who's playing forward for 99% of the time, they're going to go a long way to do it. Now, I don't know about the stats, but the feeling you have at the moment is that those Double Blue players just can't get into it. Colville from right on 50. They're absolutely in charge at the moment. If this one goes through, Sturt are in real trouble. It's done just that, and Colville gets his first for the day.
And it was Beveridge doing the damage all low. He's been doing it all quarter. Lennon has just been letting him run free. Colville's got cleared. Now Woosden hasn't got him. And there's a fight on in the middle.
No, there's not. The player's just gone towards Biglands. They're realising just how big a quarter Rhett Biglands is having. Every player on the field, David, ran to Rhett Biglands.
But look at Colville, who is not fit, or is not fully fit. But look how hard he runs. He's got the heart of a lion, this kid. And he'll keep going for 4 quarters like the ever-ready man.
Well, Peter Jones and his match committee will be here this afternoon. Watch out. The Eagles are back in form. They've had a week to get it. And they're doing it at the moment. 57 plays 26. Double Blues go forward again. The little kick forward's gone out of bounds on the full. So nothing going right for the Double Blues.
Well, I love what Shirley's done on Jones today. Shirley has really displayed himself as a high-caliber defender because Jones I really rate him. And Shirley's chopped him to pieces so far.
Just to underline how good Biglands has been this term, I reckon he's got his 4th opponent. Thurston's jumped in the middle of the ground then. He's had Conway, McEwen, Thurston's. Pachura looked to run with him for a short time. And the Biglands stats, 5 kicks, 2 handballs. But it's more what he's doing in the middle of the ground and giving them a start and getting the push going their way. Pearce, there's no push there. It goes across the line. 8-9, plays 4-2. Not so long ago, the Blues had a claim on this.
Conway back on just to try and get a hold of Biglands again.
And Michael, 9-2 in terms of the stats. What would you do as a ruckman to try and stop him at the moment?
You just got to play with him and try and jump. He's just dominating at the moment, really giving them the start that they need.
An early jump. We saw John Barnes have to do it yesterday with the leaping Jeff White. Lennon backwards to Geddes. Gee, they need one, and they need one very quickly at the moment just to get some self-belief back. Twit knew he had one running for him, but the handball was ineffective. It burnt some ball. Colville's got a sore head backward of play. Shirley. Here is Biglands playing the link man again in the middle of the ground. Pearce gets one high. Should have been a free kick. Wasn't paid. Biglands. He wants a player in Pearce in the middle of the ground. He knew he could go forward and find Sickler. That's a brilliant piece of play. He's got nowhere Sicker. So he goes towards the half-forward flank and fortuitously, I might add, goes to Pearce.
Another drop mark.
But they have dropped a couple down there and wasted them. And I reckon that Powell has been one of the Double Blues' best.
Well, he has Colville just in the hands of the trainer. They'd be pretty concerned about him because he's the key for them. Him and Pearce, along with Biglands, are keys in the grand final. Blood rule being enforced.
Well, I think Jones got him, David, from behind. Just a very late and high tackle on Colville. Slick hands and ball towards Beveridge. Beveridge is taken by Lennon. Coming up again is Matty Powell. Straightens the body. Thumps the ball forward towards half forward. 4-on-1 here. Atkinson sits down. Now the delivery needs to be good towards White. White gives a lead. Just can't get his hands up. Back there is Dutchy Holland. The ball spills free towards Tate. Tate goes out wide. Andrew Rogers, the captain for the Eagles. Call as you like. Just pops the ball out. It's a good kick. Grinick should take it. Good pressure from behind by Mark Patura. Again, the ball out over the line. We're 27.5 minutes into the second quarter. The preliminary final. We see the Eagles 57, Double Blues on 26.
Had a couple of very big weeks, the Double Blues. The question is, can they finish with the run? Because they're going to need to. They're going to be playing some catch-up football in the second half. Grinick, far side, and the Eagles. They've got all the time in the world. Just not quite enough pressure at the moment, Michael.
No, there's not. But I think Phil Palmer could think about sitting down Stephen White for just a little while. Maybe slot Burton into full forward and McEwen to centre-half forward just for a different look.
Or maybe even Stephen White at centre-half forward. You're right, they need to mix it up. But where they're getting hurt in the middle of the ground, Mark Stevens has got Burton covered. Higgins. Now Rogers back onto the ground. And inside 50 has a look at Chris Kluzek. I reckon Threadgold might have had hold of him. Gets the benefit of the doubt, though. Squire being forced to play backward of the football, and he goes short. Gets it back again. Not a lot of options. You can tell by the indecision. He's just not too sure where to go. Now goes towards centre wing. Gets a player spare buck. They're not really going through the key forward areas. Burton gets it. And that will thwart any chance the Double Blues had of getting one back just before half-time, although he's going to have a shot at it. A little bit of breeze. The fluttering of the flag show that it's behind him at the moment. I'd suggest this would need his best torpedo punt. 31 points the difference. He's holding it for the torp. This is a long kick. This would be 70 metres. That's a fair dob. It's gone very, very close, but not quite far enough. And that will be the margin at three-quarter time. 31 points at half-time.
Well, you look at it, Stephen, you say, well, the Eagles got 6 goals for that turn. Sturt added just 2 goals, and the Eagles' defensive zone have been quite terrific. Burton on screen was good. There is Kluzak, Chris Kluzak, who hasn't got amongst it. Pesh has found some of the goal. There's the defender and skipper who's got a goal. Andrew Rogers really has led his team. Biglands. Now, there's the fellow who's made the big difference. Floriani's had a great battle with Twitt, but Biglands, I guess, was the key to that second quarter. The Eagles have certainly exploited the Double Blues, no question, in that second quarter.
Central District have a spot in the grand final, safe and sound at the moment. The Eagles are staking a pretty good claim in the preliminary final. The scoreline at half-time, 8-9 to 4-2 on ABC Sport.
.57 plays, 26. The start of the second half here in the preliminary final, year 2000, between the Double Blues and the Eagles. A good half of football. Really controlled the second quarter by the boys from Woodville Oval. The siren sounds. Conway been moved back into ruck to take on Biglands. Had a sensational second quarter there. Ball's put down. Biglands uncontested, goes it, knocks it down towards Colville, gives it across now to Floriani. The handball inside didn't find Holland. The Double Blues need something. They're going forward. White, is he taking the mark? I think he has. So Stephen White.
He's come out to centre forward, Mark, as we thought he might.
Well, he needed something up just to get him out of that area for a while. He's well held there by Stephen Hall. Ball's knocked down. Weatherall started so well. It's very quiet in that second quarter. Heads up towards Burton and Hall. Back there is Colville as well. Stevens over the top of the football has the running support through Dutchy Holland. Takes off, bounces once, can take on White, bounces twice, can go again. Now straightens the body up, just spots it forward. Colville's run hard forward. Been followed down by Atkinson. Comes around his body. Back there is Geddes and takes a saving mark.
Now, would I be seeing that right, that Atkinson's picking up Colville?
Looks like it, and we'll continue to track that just to see how it works out. We talked about the importance of Weatherall a couple of times, and he had one possession prior to that one just a second ago. One possession in 45 minutes of football, and when your key playmaker's getting that, you're in some strife. Squire, short to Atkinson. You better be quick, Brodie. Here is Weatherall once again, around the body, right leg to within about 5, and it's marked right on the line there by McEwen.
A little bit of a push. Tate got a little shove. Not enough, said the umpire, to pay a free kick, but watch it as it comes in. Left of screen and little shove. Well, not a lot in it, was it? Tape took a bit of a dive.
That's just what they needed. The first one up in this third term. Inside a couple of minutes, McEwen gets his first.
Some people thought this game was over at half-time, but Sturt have been terrific in their third quarters this season, what they call the premiership quarter. Atkinson's been quiet, 6 possessions first half. Weatherall has only had 1 possession in the last 45 minutes of football. And McEwen, who has kicked 5 goals in a second half in league footy this year, goes to full forward. So Phil Carman pulling out some desperate strokes.
Well, I don't know whether Phil's got Atkinson on Colville necessarily, but he's in the middle of the ground, and Mark, it's not a bad change-up position to be in.
Well, he had to make some changes, and Atkinson, who spent most of his finals in the last month of footy playing out of a pocket, has been released. The free kick now goes towards Brucey Lennon. He too needs to lift. Cross to Twitt. He's been good this afternoon as Jared Twitt up towards White. Came out hard. Atkinson's there. Goes over the top to Weatherall. Weatherall backs himself from 45 metres. Heads home towards goal. It's gone across the face of the back there as McEwen couldn't quite take it. Now comes up with the football. Tate puts a fair bit of pressure on him. In there is Jones. He's a left footer. Goes on his right. Smothered off the boot by Beveridge. The ball is thumped back in again by McEwen. Thumped back by Rogers through for a rush behind.
Andrew Rogers, very well schooled. When things get desperate, a boundary line or a rush a point, leads them pretty well from back there. But you can just sense that the Double Blues have found something, a little bit of passion and emotion. They're going to play it right out to the finish.
They're certainly looking a little more dangerous. What they do need to do, though, is to convert that danger into some goals. They've got 1 on the board early, and another couple would see the spirits lift immeasurably. The Ugrinik kick towards half forward. Matthew Kluzak couldn't. Colville can. His kick carries about 50. And it's a good mark. Taken by Howman. Half back. The Guernsey's open. And he'll need to do some repair work with the lace-up in just a moment. But as he looks up, he's got very few options that are free. Stephen White's presenting himself. So too is Andrew Getty short. They can't get much width going. So the short one in the end ends up with Michael Curtis. Atkinson's his best option. Far side of the ground, centre wing. Used the body perfectly. Plenty of experience and a fair bit of strength too, by the way, even though he's not that tall. Weighs it up, has a look at Stephen White. He's given just a little bit in the early part of this third term. Tackled by Stevens. Here's Weatherall. 3rd or 4th possession for him in a hurry now in this third quarter. Quick kick in forward, no free kick. Loss of feet meant it was pretty hard. Atkinson lifted the rating and done pretty well. Here's Weatherall again. If they can get another one on the board, they're in business. Weatherall gets his first. Sturt get their second for the term, and we've got a game on our hands. 8-9. Play 6-3.
Watch Atkinson in the replay set himself up. Really plows through like a wombat. Low centre of gravity. Takes the tackle, drags the player with him. Here it comes. Bang. Holds it, takes the tackle, holds it long enough to release and find an option. It was very clever play. Really backed his strength in then. Took the tackle, accepted the tackle, and Weatherall knew that he was going to feed it off. They've got a confidence about them, Sturt, just at the moment, and Atkinson is firing them up.
Weatherall's the player to go forward. He's had 5 kicks in 5 minutes, 5 possessions in 5 minutes, but he's gone forward for Atkinson, and those moves are working very nicely.
Again, the ball's back. Squire needs to take it. He's tackled there by Colville. Without the football, comes inside again. The Double Blues, their work rate has increased. Atkinson, another possession across to Twitt. Twitt spotted the player and Jones out wide. That's the direction he goes. The numbers here now with the Eagles. Over the top is Dutchy Holland. Plays percentage football, knocks the ball out over the line.
I, for one, thought they were in trouble with the Blues at half-time. It was hard to see where it was going to come from, but Phil Carman was pretty obvious. He had to do something with Weatherall, who wasn't in the game. He had to get Atkinson into it, and he really has to do something with Biglands, and that just means that Conway has to lift his game.
Mark Ventura now releases Squire. The ball needs to sit. It does eventually. Oh, he made hard work of that. He's tackled with the ball. Great work from behind by Rogers. It's knocked forward. Conway and Biglands. Conway now is going man on man with Biglands. It's another good move there. As we see, Ciccarella comes up with the football. Oh, the tempo's increased, Dave. It's getting pretty exciting out there.
Let's hope it's not heart attack time.
Bounce down, far side of the ground. I just get a feeling of the atmosphere down there from Michael in just a tick. Forward to Jones. Jones takes the mark under some real pressure from Shirley.
Stupid.
He's frustrated.
We're yet to see a 25.
Well, he's been well held by Shirley first half. I think he came here today to play football and dominate, and he's been very well held.
Forward they go, the Double Blues once again. This early part of the third term's belonged very much to them. Colville, Tate, under some pressure, has a look at the boundary line. What's it like down there, Michael?
Yes, just sitting in amongst the Double Blue supporters at the moment, and they're on the edge of their seats. You can just feel the emotion from the Double Blue supporters starting to rise. Their team's got a sniff. 31
points, Stephen, back to 18 points. They've done enough to inflict some psychological damage just for the moment. The Eagles might have gone into half-time thinking that they just had to play out the game. It's not the case.
I think that's a couple of commentators up here, David, thought the same. The Double Blues have come out hitting the ball as hard as I've seen them hit for a long while. It's up again. McEwen in the front position. One. Nearly took the second grab at it. Working behind the Weatherall tackles, holding the ball. With the advantage being paid, the kicker's gone across the face, so will come back. The Double Blues are pumped.
It's just psychological, isn't it? The Eagles' second quarter were just so tough and committed, but Weatherall hadn't had an impact. Suddenly, in the space of 8 minutes, he has turned this game around, Weatherall. Him and Atkinson, the two keys, their collective will has combined to really just force, under pressure, the Double Blues back into this game.
But that's exactly the sort of thing you can do when you're not having your best day out. You can still tackle, you can still chase, you can still work hard on it. And to his credit, he's done just that. Sooner or later, the spoils come because of it.
He's got one on the board already, has Tim Weatherall. This needs to be punched home. Gives himself some space, unleashes with the kick. It's home, the Double Blues flags are wagging, they're back in it. We've got a 12-point ball game, fellas.
And this, fellas, is where we find out whether the Eagles or Sturt are premiership